anybody who became incredibly successful in any area of their life until they had suffered and sweated and sacrificed and kept their focus and fought through tears and trials and tests. And if you have a dream and you commit to it, it will come to pass.
Act like a king to be treated like one. And if you're a girl watching this, act like a queen to be treated like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. By acting regally and confident of your powers, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. Like I said, this can apply to your game or just you in real life in general. If you allow somebody to disrespect you, allow somebody to talk to you a certain kind of way, over talk you, they will continue to do so. It's this simple. People will look at how you carry yourself. He's talking on a call and I was telling the guy, I was like, yo, how you carry yourself and how you act can determine how people deal with you before they even deal with you. And throughout these years, if I didn't trust my vision up until today and never give up and quit on my vision, I would not be facing the reality I am in today. From, sharing a room with siblings on the bunk bed to I have 2 rooms in my new apartment. One where I sleep in and one where I conduct business in. A part of having the vision and trusting my vision from the point of, just like poverty and a lack of what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, I still always trusted my vision. I never gave up on it. I never dropped the idea of me being a content creator, me speaking and impacting the world. I told y'all, when I come into this stuff, I stuck to my vision.
Boom, we back. What's good, YouTube? I hope y'all see that little V right there, man. You feel me? So if you in the back. But what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, I Talk TV. I'm back with another video. Now in this video, y'all, I would like to discuss. What would I like to discuss? I would like to discuss part 2 of knowing yourself. This might be a short video, this might be a long video. I really don't know. But wherever the spirit moves, I follow. So check me out. I'm going to talk about knowing yourself because I feel like a lot of us don't know ourselves. And this is just a continuation video of the one I previously made concerning the Matrix, concerning people wearing masks, concerning people not being true and authentic to themselves. This is just a continuation video. This is part 2. So in part 2, I would just like to leave where I pick up from where I last left off, because this topic is so important. You see, people who don't really know themselves don't really trust themselves. And if you don't trust yourself, then you don't trust other people, let alone do you love yourself. And when you don't love yourself, you can't love me. When the love of God ain't in you, you can't love me, right? So how do we know if an individual truly loves himself? How do you know if you truly love yourself? Understand? You don't know. Because the only way of knowing is by knowing, right, where you are in life. It's by knowing who you are in life and accepting who you are in life, accepting where you're at in life, accepting how far you've come in life. A lot of people don't really know themselves as much as they really think they do. A lot of people really ain't too far with who they are. It can stem from childhood. It can stem from people that were around them growing up, never really evolved into who they should become, never really took in consideration with where their intuition were leading them. See, a lot of people don't really follow their intuition. A lot of people don't really follow themselves. A lot of people really ain't followers for themselves. I say that to say this. You should be a fan of yourself. You should be a fan of your own art. You should be a fan of the way you dress, talk. You should be a fan of how you do things, how you move in life. You should be a fan of yourself before anybody else is a fan of you. You should be a fan of your own art, your own work. And eventually people will come towards that and be attracted towards that, and they'll love you for you, because you will attract authentic people. When you attract inauthentic people, when you attract backbiters and backstabbers, unauthentic people, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your energy. There's something wrong with your vibration, your frequency, whatever y'all like to call it. There's something wrong with you. Because if you can attract the same negative thing in a different human body, then that means you have to change something within yourself. A lot of people don't want to take accountability nowadays. A lot of people don't want to take heed of what they've done and who they've done it to. And that's why a lot of people are going to start to struggle nowadays, because no one wants to be held accountable for their actions. No one wants to hold themselves accountable for their own actions. And that's ridiculous. That's where the narcissism comes from. That's where the self-consumption comes from. That's where the me comes from. It comes from a lack of accountability. It comes from a lack of self-respect. Because again, fake confidence isn't true confidence. A lie can only stick for so long until the truth comes out. What happens when the truth comes out about you? What happens when the mask falls off? When the mask falls off and the truth comes out, that's your ass. Because then people gonna find out you've been lying about who you were this whole time. That wasn't you. That was a fake. That was a fraud you. That wasn't even really who you were the whole time, right? And so when we can address this, when we can come to this conclusion, then we can move as a people. Then we can grow as a people. Then we can love as a people. Then we can really hold other people accountable and really grow as an individual. You feel me? Because if people are not growing as individuals, if people are not really stooping to like a higher state, then we are always going to be at a low state in America for like a minute, for a while, because no one is really growing. Nobody is really finding out who they truly are, because no one holds anybody else accountable, and that causes for grown ass children, and excuse my profanity, but that causes for people to be grown children, literally. You see a bunch of grown children roaming around here now. You feel me? A bunch of crybabies, a bunch of I want this and I want that. Nobody willing to look out for other people no more. Nobody willing to lend the extra hand and be a people pleaser. Well, not a people pleaser, but a helper in a sense. You don't even see it with women nowadays. I'm not going to just put women out there, but it's the man's responsibility to help the woman into her femininity. And if that man cannot do that, then he is not truly a man. But if a woman cannot be truly feminine, then she is not truly a woman. She is just another nigga. She is just another man. You feel me? And for a man, he does not want to deal with another man. A man does not want to deal with another man. Why? Because men already go out about their days fighting the government, fighting the system, fighting the world, fighting other people, being in competition with other hierarchies of people, hierarchies of men, 30s, 40s, 50s. We already have enough on our hands. We already have enough on our backs. The least that we need is a woman that applies more pressure on what is already being applied. Understood? So that was just a sidebar. But to go back to what I was trying to say is unauthentic people. Unauthentic people are the reason why you don't see creativity anymore. When you look at Kanye, right? And I wanted to speak about Kanye's documentary. I did. I wanted to speak about that. But when you look at Kanye and how Kanye got turned down, right? How Kanye was always turned down, looked over, casted upon, casted to the side, never had his art embellished, never had his creativity acknowledged, never had nobody try to give him at least a helping hand. You feel me? That took a shot at his self-esteem. That took a shot at his ego. That took a shot at his personality, who he wanted to be, how he wanted to be towards people, towards his art, towards his creativity. And he could have gone multiple routes. He could have been multiple different people. You feel me? But he stayed on his route. He stayed true to himself. He stayed true to his art. He stayed true to his work. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it's important to live authentically you. Now everything that Kanye does, yes, it's not good. Yes, it's a little out there. You feel me? It might be a little out there. But to those who have eyes to see, we like, bruh, this man is the most authentic in his own skin dude that I've ever seen in my life. He stayed himself throughout that whole process. He kept pushing. He kept making songs. He kept pushing out songs. Even when he was on, you feel me, the stretcher. Well, I don't know if he was on the stretcher, but when he was visiting the doctor here and now, when he went into that car accident, he still kept it 100 and stayed true to himself and still was trying to make music. Still was trying to push out those videos. Still was trying to make that documentary work. He stayed in his true, authentic self, and he did not let the world define how he was going to live his life. That is called authenticity. That is something that's rare. That is something that's unique. That's something that the world needs. Now, what happens when you have a bunch of inauthentic people running the planet? That causes for liars. That causes for people who betray. That causes for people to wear a mask. I'm not talking a physical mask. I'm talking a spiritual mask. That causes for people to not truly love themselves or love other people. That causes for a lot of things. A lot of negative things. Not positive. And you cannot fulfill true fulfillment within yourself if you are being unauthentic to your process, to your journey, to your God. And God is also within you. So if you aren't being authentic to the Creator, God, Jesus Christ, you're not being authentic to you. And really, you're failing not only God, but you're failing yourself. You're failing yourself. Spiritually dead. Understand? I want to talk about that because a lot of people are spiritually dead and don't even know it. Man, a lot of people, bro, go about their lives on what other people think, what other people do, and never truly live out a life that they really wanted to live. I'm not talking materialistic external things, because even then that could still cause for destruction. It's still decaying and delaying your body, your spirit, your soul in some type of way by chasing external validation. I'm talking about internal things. I'm talking about the inside, something that people cannot take away from you, something that is unseen. God is unseen. If you can work on your inside, your internal, then nobody can do nothing to you, because now you are in a world, right, that you've created for yourself that cannot be disturbed. Now you have a peace that cannot be disturbed, but it wasn't given from the world. This peace, this sudden joy that you have, this sudden, you feel me, confidence that you have, was not given to you through other people. It was given to you through God, through an internal source, through an internal work higher than yourself. Because what you can invest, if you can invest in faith, if you can invest in hope, those are things that are unseen. Those are things that people cannot take away from you. Those are personality traits that people cannot kill unless you let it be killed. Unless you listen to the people that's trying to kill it and tell you about you, who really don't even know about themselves, and destroy you from being on your journey. You can't let people define you. You can't let people drive you to do things that they want you to do. Because 9 times out of 10, I kid you not, people who push you to do certain things, like, destroy yourself, it could, i.e. drinking. So, some people do it to celebrate, and I understand that, I get that. But when you can constantly do it and turn it into a habit, they say that whenever 21 days hit, it becomes a habit. And when you turn that into a habit, it becomes negative. It's no longer something that you go out and celebrate. Now you are escaping. Now what you are doing is escaping reality. That's escapism. And you don't want to be caught up in escapism. That's why, as a kid, right, I always felt like I was not necessarily, you feel me, odd or strange or nothing like that, but I felt like I was different. Not because of those variables that I just listed, but because I was authentically me. And people could not adjust to me because I was the real me. And they were fake thems. That wasn't even them. How they talk, how they walk, the clothes that they wear, the cars that they drive, it's not really them. So when somebody comes along your journey, right, along your life, in your life, and encounters you, and they feel like you are the real deal, that really you are the real thing, that you are what you say you are, and you are what you talk about, then they get scared. They get scared, they duck their tail, and they start running. Why? Because this is something that I'm not used to. This dude is somebody that I'm not used to. I sit here and fake who I am. I sit here and, you feel me, gotta have all these things around me. This man ain't got nothing, but yet he can still be happy. He can still have courage to do what he does. He can still have faith to do what he does and not give up. And not feel away. And not squander. And not give up on his purpose. And not give up on himself. But before my granddaddy died, right? I'm gonna get a little personal. Before my granddaddy died, he had a conversation with me, right? He had a conversation with me. He said, Elijah, don't ever give up on yourself. No matter what you go through in life, no matter who falls by your wayside, don't you ever give up on yourself. Don't you ever give up on your vision. Don't you ever give up on who God made you and created you to be, because other people are not comfortable with who you are, because they're uncomfortable with themselves. Don't ever give up on you, because at the end of the day, you are the only thing that has you. You are the only thing that's holding you together right now. You are the only thing, you and God, that is, are the only two things that's kept you pushing this far. Let's just be honest. You understand? You are your greatest asset. And if you can't realize that, then you won't be able to push forward into true authenticity. Kanye is truly authentic. Kanye was truly himself the whole time. Kanye was able to maximize on his own art, on his own struggle and pain, and make that into purpose, into passion. That's what we need to be doing, man. But how many of us are really doing that? Nobody's really doing that no more. Nobody is able to turn their struggles and their pains into straight passing. Nobody. Kanye did the unthinkable. Whether people think he is he's crazy or he's this, he's that. Bro, he's himself, man. It almost points the picture back at us like, okay, well, what's wrong with me? If I can list all these things that's wrong with this individual and take away from his life, then what's wrong with me? We live in a generation that doesn't like to point the finger at themselves, that likes to make fun of, poke fun of everybody else, but never point the finger at themselves and look at their own life. But you gotta be able to look at your own life. You gotta be able to look at your own life and look at how far you come. You understand? Figure out who you are. Instead, people don't do that no more. Excuse me, y'all. I need to get me some water. But what I'm gonna do is, y'all, I'm gonna cut it short because I don't want to drop this bad boy. Then pick it up. That's gonna be real. You feel me? It's gonna mess up the whole video, but I'm gonna leave y'all off with that. I want y'all to learn how to be more authentic, more in tune with self. I want you to love yourself more. Because a lot of people don't love themselves. And a lot of people do destructive things to themselves. And they call it loving themselves when it's really not loving yourself. It's just being ignorant to your own devices. So again, I'll leave y'all off right there, and y'all have a good day. Be blessed, stay blessed. And if you fall for anything, remember, if you fall for anything, you will. Damn, I done messed up my own quote. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. Deuces.